Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In previous session, we discussed about the assessing alternative architectural design and architectural mapping using data flow. Today, we are going to discussing about the third chapter, that is component level design. Here we are going to cover three concepts in component level design. The main intention of component level design is to translate the design model into operational software. To translate the design model into operational software. This design occurs after the first iteration of architectural design. This design occurs after the first iteration of architectural design has been completed. At this stage, the overall data and program structure of the software has been established. Now, we should know about what is component. So, what is component? So, a component is a modular building block for computer software. It is a replaceable part of a system that exposes a set of interfaces. The meaning of component will differ depending on the point of view of the software engineer who uses it. Here, we are represent these components in two viewpoints. First one is an object-oriented view, and second one is the traditional view. So, in object-oriented view, a component contains a set of fully elaborated and collaborating classes. Each class includes all attributes and operations that are relevant to its implementation. All the interfaces are elaborated to enable the classes to communicate and collaborate with other design classes must also be found. Traditional view. In the context of a traditional view of software engineering, a component is a functional element of a program. A component is a functional element of a program that contains processing logic, the internal data structures that are required to implement the processing logic, and it provides interface for data processing. The traditional component, also called as a module. The module plays three important roles in software architecture. So first one, the module is nothing but a component. Component is also called as module. It plays three important roles in software architecture. First one is a control component that coordinates the invocation of all other problem domain components. Second one, a problem domain component that implements a complete or partial function that is required by the customer. Or third one, an infrastructure component that is responsible for functions that support the processing required in the problem function. These are the main roles that is implemented by module. So next concept, designing class-based components. So basic design principles. So how to design the class-based components means it is related to the object-oriented point of view. So class-based means it is comes under the view that is object-oriented view. So designing class-based components. So here we have some basic design principles. Here we have 7 basic design principles are applicable to component level design. The object-oriented software engineering is applied on this design. So coming to the principles. So first one, the open-closed principle. So it is termed as OCP. OCP means the open-closed principle. So this principle describes the a module or component should be open for extension but closed for modification. A module should be open for extension. Extension means future enhancement, elaboration. but closed for modifications. Means internal functionality. We can't change the internal logic or functionality of the module. So means the component can allow extensions but not allows any modifications. This is the important characteristic of a good component level design. So coming to the second principle, the Liskov substitution principle, LSP, Liskov substitution principle. Subclasses should be substitutable for their base classes. That means the precondition that must be true before the component uses a base class and a post condition that should be true after the component uses a base class. So subclasses should be substitutable for their base classes. Third principle, dependency inversion principle, DIP. Dependency inversion principle. Depends on abstractions, do not depends on concretions. Means, if the component mostly depends on other concrete components, it is more difficult to extend in future. Means, if the component mostly depends on other concrete components, it is more difficult to extend in future. So, coming to fourth principle, the interface segregation principle, ISP. Interface segregation principle. Many client-specific interfaces are better than one general-purpose interface. ISP suggests that if multiple clients require the same operation, you should create a specialized interface to serve each major category of clients. So, fifth principle, the release reuse equivalency principle, REP. Release reuse equivalency principle. The granule of reuse is the granule of release. Means the developer design the classes or components for reuse and commits to a control system that supports and maintains older versions while the users slowly upgrade to the most current versions. Next, sixth principle, the common closure principle, CCP. Classes that change together belong together. Change together belong together. So here the classes should be considered as a one package. If some characteristics of that area is changed, it is likely that only those classes within the package will require modifications. Next, seventh principle, the common reuse principle, CRP. Common reuse principle. Classes that aren't reused together should not be grouped together. Means if classes are not grouped cohesively, it is possible that a class with no relationship to other classes within a package is changed. Next, coming to the component level design guidelines, AMLET suggests that the following guidelines. So first one, components. It is a part of the architectural model. The component name should be drawn from the problem domain and should have meaning to all stakeholders who view the architectural model. Next, coming to interfaces. Interfaces provide important information about the communication and collaborations. Next, cohesion. Cohesion is the single-mindedness of the component. There are different types of cohesions. First one is functional cohesion layer. Next, communication. So functional cohesion means it exhibits primary operations. Layer cohesion means it exhibits by packages, components and classes. Third cohesion means communication. All operations that access the same data are defined within the one class. Next, coupling. It is a measure of the degree to which classes are connected to one another. The important objective in component level design is to keep coupling as low as is possible. There are different categories of coupling. First one, so content coupling, common coupling, control coupling, stamp coupling, data coupling, routine call coupling, type use coupling, inclusion or import coupling, external coupling. So therefore, coupling is a fact of life. However, the designer should work to reduce coupling whenever possible. So coming to the third topic, conducting component level design. The following steps represent a typical task set for component level design when it is applied for an object-oriented system. So first step, identify all design classes that corresponds to the problem domain. First, we should identify the all design classes that is related to the problem domain. Second step, identify all design classes that are corresponds to the infrastructure domain. So problem domain and also infrastructure domain. Next, third step, elaborate all design classes that are not acquired as reusable components. So elaboration means expansion. Expand the all design classes means it provides detailed information about the design classes that are not acquired as reusable components. Next, third step. So within the third step, we have again substeps. So 3A. So specify message details when classes. So how to expand, elaborate the classes means. So to specify the message details when classes or components collaborate. D step. So step 3D. Elaborate attributes and define data types and data structures required to implement them. So next, so C. Describe processing flow within each operation in detail. So elaborate all design classes means, so specify the message details. Second one is elaborate attributes and data types and data structures that is required to implement the design class. Next, third step, describe the processing flow. Next, fourth step, describe persistent data sources and identify the classes required to manage them. So data sources is nothing but databases and files. So persistent data. So describe the all data sources and identify the classes required to manage them. So which classes are managed these data sources we should identify before the designing the component level basic class design. Next, step 5, develop and elaborate behavioral representation for a class or component. So develop and elaborate behavioral representation for each class or component. Next, sixth step, elaborate deployment diagrams to provide additional implementation details. So we should elaborate deployment diagrams to provide additional implementation details. Next, seventh step, refactor every component level design representation and always consider alternatives. So refactoring means, so we can change it. So we have to apply some changes on the component level design to produce the other alternative designs also. So these are the some basic steps to conduct in the component level design. So thank you everyone. Thank you for watching my video.